How's it going? Today I am going to replace a window motor in a Mazda CX-9, a 2012. First, let's take a look at what is actually happening, the issue here that I noticed that made me think I needed to replace it. The first thing I noticed when the window motor started going bad was I would hear a clicking sound when I would put the window up. It sounded like that. As well as the automatic function of going down or up would basically wouldn't work as the others would. See, that one still operational both ways, but this one going down or up, it wouldn't work. And then the second thing was the window started getting stuck. So if it goes down per a certain point, you would hear a click, which may be the gears. So they used to make, I'm not sure how they used to make the window gears in the older cars, but now they're plastic in the motor. So the teeth will become chipped or wear away over time, and that can actually cause the gears to get stuck at certain points, like you're seeing. So I'm pressing up on the window switch, but the window is stuck at a point now. If this happens, as we've done in the past several weeks, is you can actually hold up on the button and then pull up on the window, and it should get the gear past that point and allow it to roll up normally. But it got to the point where it was doing it at all sorts of different levels, and so it came time to just fix the motor, so or repair the motor. So I've got one right here, and we're gonna unpackage it and put it in. Part of the reason that I make this video is not actually that I know how to do it, it's that I don't know how to do it. So I wanted to point this out because this tripped me up a little bit, is how to take this door panel off. I think I've got it. So you've always got a little plastic piece, always that I've seen, a little plastic piece here that'll just pop right out behind the door handle, and one screw behind there. And then from there, there's usually only one or two more screws or bolts that hold the entire door on, and then you take it off, and obviously there's some plugs and things for the lighting and the window switches. And so it's kind of a top-down engineering approach. You find maybe the topmost layer, in this case, was this piece of trim that goes right over the door handle there, and I was able to easily pry that off with a flathead screwdriver to find what I believe are the two bolts that are keeping the rest of the door on. And so we're going to take those off and see if we can get this door pulled apart, get closer to the window motor here. All right, so as I guessed, those last two bolts, which by the way came off with a hex 13/32. All right, right there. Came off. Now it takes, I guess, a little bit of force. So you've got the door's then going to come free, but it's going to have plugs in it, so you don't want to yank it too hard. But it's got, you know, I'm not even sure what these are called here, but these little push devices that go into these drilled holes here that are going to keep the door in place securely, but without needing any kind of tool to pull it apart. And I see the window motor, so it should be easily accessible. So let me get this door panel off. Now this is probably the least favorite thing. I just recently put some speakers into a 2003 Lexus, and the door came apart very similarly. So that's how I kind of have an idea on what to do. You unplug everything. It takes a lot of finesse to get the door back on, especially if you've never done it. So keep that in mind. It may be a little frustrating to get the door off. You want to kind of yank up and out with a little bit of force, but not too hard, because if you do, and I may have done this, I'll have to inspect it closer, you may break. I'm not sure if this came off the door just now, but you don't want to break these little plastic pieces that push in, or else your door is going to be loose. So let me get this door off, and then we'll start it back up. So what I've done here is I've actually only unhooked these, which are a cable for the door handle, so that when you pull, it unlocks and unlatches the door here. Which, again, as I said, when you put the door back on, you're going to have to hold it up, and you're going to have a little bit of finesse to be able to put these back in, and then position the door correctly so that you can get those plastic pins pushed back in. And then I unplugged. We've got a light here. You're going to kind of, it's great to have somebody to help you to maybe hold the door while you plug in all your connections. And then I unplugged this. I'm not sure what this goes to, but at this point it doesn't really matter. Let's see, that looks like it goes to the unlock button here. And so I've left the door partially plugged in for a reason here, so that I could actually, before I do any more work, make sure my diagnosis of the window motor was correct. Because you've also got the window regulator, which could also make noise and cause issues of the window going up and down. But that's probably a fix I wouldn't have taken on myself. I probably would have taken it into a shop, because I just don't know all the nuances of putting, I have a riveting tool, which I do not have, and then it's also a matter of attaching the regulator to the glass, I believe, so I'm just not sure about that. But here's our window motor, and as I confirmed, much louder now when I pull up on the window here, the window button, it makes a large noise, so it sounds like the plastic is coming from in there. So I think I've definitely got the right fix, and it looks really easy. We've just got what it looks like 3 screws and 1 plug. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this, and we're going to see if that fixes the problem.
Into another war. I must have thought it was something else. My skin gets tight and my heart, it swells.
Excellent. So we have operation, and it's click free. It took less than an hour. So amazing, maybe even 30 minutes, even with the video. So I did forget to mention that I took this piece off. It's just you can pry that off with a flathead very easily. Just one little piece hooks that in right there. And something that I noticed was actually this door went back on very much easier than the Lexus door when I replaced the speakers in there. So you've just got a lip that runs along the slot where the window goes up and down, and you put that right over, and then you can kind of go over here and line up the plastic pins with the holes, and you can see once you get it down to the right level on both sides, it pretty much just snaps in place. So you want to come around, give it a couple bangs at the right places, you know, just at different intervals around the door to make sure they all snap into place and you can hear that. And then of course make sure that, you know, your dome light's in and locked in, and that everything's plugged in so that you don't have to take the door back off because you forgot to plug it in. It looks like we got the, let's make sure the doors are operational here. Okay, the keys are in, so it won't let me lock, so that's good, that's working. All right, everything's working. So yeah, that's success right there. And we'll just get the bolts put back on and all the trim put back in place, and then we'll be done. One last thing I want you to notice here is that my auto operation, oh, well, okay, so it works now. I must have done it here right before I started the video, but it may not work at first. And so what you have to do is you've got to reset it by holding this down until the window goes all the way down, and maybe a couple seconds after, and then you should see the return of the automatic window operation. Well, all in all, I am really pleasantly surprised that took as little time as it did and was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. The window motor was very accessible. The door came off relatively in one piece, so you want to go for, you know, as few pieces as possible so that you're not having to put a bunch of different trim pieces back on and things like that. And now I've got an operational window that I don't have to worry about it raining and the window being stuck down or inoperable or clicking when it goes up or anything like that. So thanks for watching. I hope that you found it as easy as I did, and feel free to leave any comments or criticisms in the comments below. Thanks so much.